Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really so happy that you are here. My name is Julia, and I'm with Julia Sue's Stamping. In the month of June, there have been a lot of birthdays. One day on my business Facebook page, I had a huge handful of cards in envelopes, with envelopes, cards by themselves that I was sending out just that day for June birthdays. I asked people to guess how many I had. I had some really good guesses. One person had 18, another person said 12. That day I had 22. 22 birthday cards for 1 week. So you can see that I am really lucky. I know a lot of people with June birthdays. It's crazy how many people there are in our family alone with June birthdays. And they're so lucky here in the US that it's summer. It's the people with birthdays in the summer are so lucky because they get to have picnics and go outside to eat if it's not too hot and go swimming and fun stuff like that on their birthdays. I'm a winter birthday, and I used to never have any birthday parties or anything basically because we were all stuck inside. So anyway, enough of that. That's what I did. That's what I've been doing the last few days, is catching up on the birthday cards and getting my stash back up because I need some for July now. July is coming up with a lot of birthdays as well. So I'm getting my stash together and was making some fun fold cards such as this one. Super, a really cool kind of a fold. And what a colorful card, right? I made this with the Full of Life stamp set, and full of friends. Oh, here it is, Friends for Life stamp set, and also with the Full of Life designer series paper. So really fun card. And then I was making this one right here. Same kind of fold. I have an ephemera little piece of birthday cake in there, but this one I used the labeled with love stamp set, and it has a punch that goes with it. So, or you can get the die that goes with it, and that's what this one is here. And just super fun. And then there's a lot of designer series paper on here, so I suggest with this card to put a blank piece of white paper in the back so that you can have plenty of room for a message. And that's what I'm going to show you today, is making that fun fold card. So again, I'm really glad that you're here. I am passionate about stamping, coloring, paper crafting, making cards. But most of all, I'm really passionate about sharing the fun of how to do all of that with you. I live in Northeast Ohio. I think we should get started. How about you? I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so everything I use is Stampin' Up! And this is the stamp set that's going to be used for this version of that fun fold. Hooray for surprises. Hooray for Surprises comes with a matching set of dies. The only one I'm using for this card right now is this awesome cake, but it is so nice. These are also Hooray for Surprises because you can create this card in a way that makes it a surprise card. You can rip up a little piece of it or pull off the message, and then there's a little surprise that you can give to a friend inside. I'm using some very colorful papers with this one, and no designer series paper. I decided to use some regular, just some cardstocks with this one, and the colors that I have in here are Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, Daffodil Delight, and Basic White. The first thing I did was cut a piece about 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then you score it at the 5 1/2. Then you score it again at 2 3/4, using the bone folder to make that nice and tight. Then there is a little piece that is 1 1/4 by 11, scored the same places. So you've got a score in the middle, and then you have score on the side that cuts it in half again. There we go. So those are nicely made to be tight with the bone folder. Then I'm going to go ahead, I think, and do the inside piece. So I've got a piece of basic white with the pretty peacock all together here. And I have all the measurements on my blog, so be sure you check that out because that's where all the measurements are listed. And I'm going to use the tape adhesive just a little bit in the corner here. Maybe if I can get it going. There we go. And then the other side. You may be able to really see the possibilities of this card with a designer series paper that you have. It's a great way to use up some papers, have some fun with different colors, and this card is just, it can be as bright or as not bright as you want. And then in the center and on the front, I have the same size of white with a Lost Lagoon or a pretty peacock. And what I'm going to do with this one, I think, is I'm going to stamp little candles all over it from that stamp set of the Hooray for Surprises. And I have a lot of different colors of ink out here. First one is going to be the Lost Lagoon. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up, the little candle, and I'm using a Pierce mat underneath because it's a photopolymer stamp set, so it does not have the give that a rubber stamp set would have. And then next I'm going to be able to take that Lost Lagoon straight to the pretty peacock without having to clean it off, because one of them is kind of a lighter color than the other one, but they're in the same family, so I don't have to worry about cleaning that. But I am going to clean it in order to do some candles with the other colors that I have here. I'm looking for my Simply Chamois so I can clean off the stamp. It has a little bit of a squeak there, doesn't it? All right. And let's see, I think I'll use the Calypso Coral first. Just 'cause. No real reason, just that's what I want to use first. And just making this card really colorful and fun. That's good. And then I'm going to clean it off again. There we go. Nice and clean. Perfect. And ready to use in the Daffodil Delight, which is also going to be what I use for the flame. But I do want a couple of candles here with it as well. Not too many, just a few. Okay, set that aside, and now for the flames. So the thing that's really nice is that you can actually see where you're stamping because it's photopolymer. And getting all the little candle tops all lit up here. Very good. This will be fun to have on the inside of the card. And almost done with these. Ta-da! Okay. So I'm kind of making my very own designer series paper by just stamping the white as much as I want with whatever I want. And that's what I decided I would do with this card. I started off with using some different designer series papers, and I actually ended up having like 3 different kinds, playing around with them, and I didn't want any of them. You need to be willing to just kind of place some pieces on and go, yeah, I really like that, or I don't think I want to use that after all. So framing that on there. Excellent. So far, so good. All right, and then this I'm going to go ahead and adhere to the pretty peacock, and I'm going to put it on the front of the card. Just adhere it to the front. I'm trying to not use quite as much of the adhesive because it's a very nice adhesive, and it's easy to just use in little spurts here. instead of all the way down the side. And that way it'll last a little longer too. Okay, I'm trying to get that so it's kind of centered, kind of. Alrighty, and I've got these here. I don't think I ended up cutting one in the middle, but that's okay. So I'm going to adhere this. This is opposite of the bottom. So I folded this as in the same way I folded this, but where I've got the long piece here on the bottom, on this one I'm going to put the long piece on top so that it'll open up like that. All right, and I want to kind of eyeball where that's going to be, mark it with my finger kind of, and then I'm going to put the adhesive on here, and I am going to put a little bit more than I was using on the other pieces because I want it to stay really well. And I'm going to kind of line it up with the side here. That worked. And now I'm going to put the adhesive on the end that goes on the inside. And I'm simply going to open it up, lay it down, and go all the way over. All right. So that part of the fun fold is all done and ready to go. So when someone gets the card, it's easy to display or anything like that. And that's the thing when you make handmade cards, people are not going to display an email. They're not going to display, you know, a lot of other things like a text or something like that, but they are going to display a handmade card that you send them. So that's kind of cool. And one of the many reasons it's good to send them out, because it makes birthdays really special. People love getting the handmade cards. All right, so that strip goes on there, and then this strip is going to go on here, but first I'm going to stamp the sentiment of hope your birthday is wonderful. And I'm going to do that in the pretty peacock. And I'm going to have my Pierce mat underneath. Lining it up because I can see where I'm stamping. Down and up. Fit perfectly. Excellent. Now I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I'm going to just stamp the word hooray. It says, hooray, can't wait to see you, but I don't know if I'm going to be seeing this person really soon or not when I send them the card. So I am going to simply stamp the word. And you not only can see where you're stamping with the photopolymer, but you can see what ink you're picking up with them. So I'm going to tap it just on the bottom here, and I can see that I'm avoiding all the other words. I'm only getting the hooray inked up. Can you see that? Or I only have the hooray inked up. And now I'm going to stamp that right here on a piece of scrap paper that I have. And that turned out very, very well. All right, I'll let that dry for a moment, and I believe this is dry enough, so I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back and put this little piece of sentiment right there. And I have another piece of sentiment that says make a wish. I'm going to stamp that on the inside right here. Alrighty, let's see. I really want to make sure I get it as straight as I can. So, pulling it over so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. Yay! It turned out really well. Okay. And then, and I put the Make-A-Wish in there because of all the candles over here. And I could also put, that's a great idea. I'm going to put a candle over here as well. I don't want to do a yellow one though, and that's the last thing that I used. Let's see, what color should I use? What color do you think I should use? Oh no, I think I'll use the Calypso Coral. Thank you, Gail. Gail gave me some hearts and stuff, and that's really nice. I appreciate that. I'm going to use the Calypso Coral, and then I'm going to make a flame with the little flame that I've got here. Oh, that's fun. Okay, good. So this is looking very festive, don't you think? Then I took the cake stamp from that stamp set and I stamped it in the Pretty Peacock, in the Lost Lagoon, in the Calypso Coral, and the Daffodil Delight. Just stamped the heck out of it on a piece of scrap paper. And then I used that die that I was talking about and cut them out with the cut and emboss machine. So I've got all these awesome little cakes here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all over the front. And I have the punch from the Labeled with Love stamp sets coordinating with that. I'm going to put this hooray inside there, and I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Yeah, punch that out. And I'm going to lift that up with dimensionals, put it onto this front piece. Here we go. Just for fun, a big hooray about someone's birthday. And now I'm going to decorate the front with, I think I'll grab some glue dots. I'm going to reach over here and grab the glue dots because I think they'll just be easier to put the cakes on with glue dots. So a couple of dots here, a couple of dots there. Here a dot, there a dot. All right. And the fun about having these already punched out then is that I can overlap things. And Calypso Coral one. I think I'll put that one right here. Okay. And if I do another one, I think I should use a dimensional behind the cake and put it right down here at the bottom. Take the dimensional backing off. All right, so we got a hooray, make a wish. I hope your birthday is wonderful. I still have more of these, so I think I'll put one here. I think I'll use the yellow. And then a couple of cakes right here as well. How fun is that? Oh my gosh, someone is going to love getting this for a birthday card. I think I'll finish it off with some of these rainbow adhesive backed dots using my Take Your Pick tool. And it has some pretty like Lost Lagoon looking adhesive dots. They're a little bit tricky to get up. And they're also in the yellow and in Calypso Coral, which is pretty cool. So I think we'll do a few more here. And one more, I think. This Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of them on there. That's good. And the last thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of Wink of Stella, and I'm going to put a little bit of a glitter shine on all of these candles. There we go. Excellent. Okay, and you can make some of the other things shimmer and shine too if you wanted to, like pieces of the cake. That would be totally up to you. And then I do have a piece of the basic white that I can put on the back in order to write a really nice message, or you can write your message down here at the bottom, whatever you want to do. Ta-da! All right, a big hooray and make a wish. How fun and colorful is this fun fold? All right, so lots of different ways to do the same thing. It all depends on what you want to do, what papers you have on hand, what papers you don't have on hand, you know, how fancy you want to get. A lot of fun. All right, I am again so thankful that you joined me for a few minutes here today. I hope you learned something, that you saw how fun it is to make this fun fold card, and that maybe you have someone in mind that would really enjoy getting some fun in the mail. Instead of a bill or instead of just junk, to get some fun from you. How cool would that be? I hope you have a fantastic day and that you have an opportunity to get inky. Please give the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate your support. If you decide you want to purchase anything, please check out my website. If you already have a demonstrator, that's okay. I don't mind one bit. Just fun to hang out with you. So have a fantastic day. Bye.